Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bronx Community Board 7th General Board Meeting. Today's date is November 19th, 2024. I am Carla Cabrera Carrera. I am the district manager. I would first like to thank the Bronx Library Center for hosting our meeting tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Sirio. Yes. Let's turn off the fan. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I will begin by reading our code of conduct for the meeting. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove a board member or member of the public from a meeting for engaging in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene, threatening, harassing language, slander, threats or violence, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive, inflammatory comments on the basis of ethnicity, race, age, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and/or disability. Members of the public who engage in any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting while at a board meeting shall be removed from the board meeting at the discretion of the chair or a chair designee. The public hearing starts now. I'd like to remind everyone, please speak for no more than 2 minutes. All right, I will first call on our assembly member, Jeffrey Dinowitz. Okay, we might be too far away.
Where am I going?
That's the thing.
Senior Senator.
Thank you, down. Yeah, it's good. Unless you want to come on to the podium,
Stumble.
the stage is yours.
That's oh my God.
I'll take it. Why not?
I promised 5 weeks that I'll keep it under 20.
Oh, my God.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Dinowitz. Now, I don't represent all of Ward 7. I just have a small piece, but a really important piece. I represent a chunk of Shorewood. So some of you are in my district and many of you aren't. Sorry. But I just came because I've been to the last couple of meetings. I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to thank the community. We just had an election 2 weeks ago, and the people in my district and the people in the North part of my district very kind to me. They re-elected me by a 3-1 margin. Almost, I think it was 76%, something like 77. So thank you for that. And we've been doing a lot of stuff in the neighborhood. We're doing turkey giveaways. The councilman will talk about that also, Principal Erica, who said it. We just did a march the other day. We're getting more turkeys, march the community center. I see that in all we do, there was a really nice Veterans Day event at hospital. People on the staff at the hospital, and it was very interesting to be the chance to be the speaker for that event, and it was really very touching. So many things are going on in the neighborhood. I can talk about a lot of the issues, transportation, housing, like I often did, but I really wanted to talk about something a little more political. And if anybody is upset by what I say, sorry about that. But I'm not going to assume that everybody voted a particular way, because it wasn't unanimous for one candidate. But I know many people are very upset, including myself, by the results of the presidential election. And I just want to mention things. First, despite what you see in the media, it was actually one of the closest elections we've had in any of our lifetimes. Trump won by less than 2% of the popular vote. You should know that, because the way they're portraying it is as if he got some kind of huge mandate. And the only elections in modern times that were closer than that to the popular vote were Kennedy and Nixon, and that was way back in 1960. Nixon and Humphrey in 1968, and then Gore and Bush in 2000. Other than that, this was literally the closest election we've had, and I'm looking around the room and I would say in any of our lives, this was one of the closest. But when they say they have a mandate, you can say that, but this was close. But the problem is, in the United States, if you win by 1 vote, you win everything. It's not parliamentary democracy, so they have a lot of power. And you can see what's been going on in the past week or so with the people that he is proposing to hold the most important positions in the country. And, you know, the positions presumably would have to be confirmed by the United States Senate. I personally think that it looks like, almost like a skit for Saturday Night Live, that putting up, think about it for a minute. This Congressman Matt Gaetz, not gonna disparage him because you probably read about it in the paper, but he's named it as the most important law enforcement person in the country.
Sorry.
You know, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's an anti-service. I mean, seriously? And the list goes on. Now, I know I've spoken to so many people in the past 2 weeks, and I can't, it's really, I shouldn't be amazed, but I am amazed by how upset so many people are. And what I tell people is that we've been through this before. I know there's nobody like this guy, to compare to, but, you know, you win elections, you lose elections, pendulum goes back and forth. And I have faith that we are going to be able to overcome this. Now, this election had real serious consequences for New York in real dollars and cents terms. You know, Senator Schumer is no longer going to be the Senate Majority Leader. He brought in billions and billions of dollars into our state, to the sewer system, for every possible area, for environmental cleanup. He's not going to be, the leader of the Senate anymore, so that's going to cost us a lot. Trump didn't win the state, and he presumably can't run for re-election, so he doesn't have an incentive to reward a state that voted against him. So we're gonna really have to work hard and double down on some of the stuff that that most of us believe in, and survive 4 years. You know, in March, the end of March, we're supposed to pass the state budget, and having Trump in the White House and the Republican Congress is gonna make it much harder for us to deliver on the services that we wanna provide people, because they're gonna make it harder for us to get the aid we need from the federal government for any one of a number of things, whether it relates to, I don't know, Medicaid, childcare, education. I mean, therefore, they do wanna dismantle Department of Education. And so our work is gonna be that much harder, and that means that just inside all of our communities are gonna have to really work twice as hard to do the things we have to do. I have a lot of work to do, you know that, but the board, many of you have met with, some of you not members, but you're all concerned about, you know, housing issues in our community and so many other issues. It's going to be harder, but that doesn't mean we're not up to the challenge. So I just wanna say that I'm prepared to do whatever I can in my capacity, and work with our other elected officials, community boards, and community organizations and individuals to make sure that we get what we need for our communities. And with that, I think my 2 minutes are almost up, so I'm gonna give up my. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Assembly Member. Next, we have our 52nd precinct.
Right, so. Look at 7:15. Thank you, everyone, and evening. So for very unemployment factors, and officers. Start off by going over the 28-day period, which you will have on the packets. The FICA precinct for the 28-day period is up 21%. Actually, is 178 this year, with a major increase in grand larcenies. Threes. That goes along with the holiday season, right? People who are being scammed, people who are being, there are a lot of desperate people out there, there are people on these mopeds that are riding around and stealing jewelry. So just be careful in the holiday seasons when you're shopping, walking around with your bags, just be aware, you know, every once in a while what happened. So yesterday, when 3 people were killed in a canyon, the main reason those people, according to the perpetrator, was because they were distracted at the time that he picked them. So if you're walking around, you're paying attention, to save your life. So please keep your heads out of the phone. Pay attention to your surroundings. We have a lot of people walking on these streets that we don't know who they are. We don't know what their mental status is. Be careful. This for a few things that we have coming up. Precinct Community Council meeting will be this Thursday, November 23rd. St. Brendan's Church, 260 East 207th Street from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. next week. Fire Precinct is gonna have a senior Thanksgiving luncheon at the Lechonera El Dogan restaurant here on 190 Bainbridge. If anybody's interested and they're a senior and would like to attend, please call me out. First to you. Let me know, it's gonna be next Tuesday, November 26th at 11:30, 194th Street, Bainbridge, Spanish Restaurant. Just give me a heads up so I know you're coming, so this way I have enough chairs. It's a small place, it holds about 35 people, so. Just let me know. We do have 2 days. Christmas events, we have our 5-2 holiday. Tuesday, December 10th, which we'll be at 5 o'clock starting in the precinct, and we'll be visiting various areas of the 5 precinct. The route has not been determined. So we're trying to figure out a route where we can reach the most, areas in the 5 precinct. Then finally, 5 precinct Wonderland holiday toy giveaway, be on December 20th, Friday, 4 p.m. Again, we are doing a toy drive, Community Board 7, support that event, so every toy makes a difference in the community, so even if it's 1 or 2 toys, we appreciate it, we'll come to you and pick it up. If you have a building and you want to put out a collection box, again, we'll come to you and pick it up. Just a little bit of effort helps the community, so we appreciate everything you can do. With that.
It's good catch. On that same day when that guy killed those 3 individuals, there was also a young girl that got killed in the South Bronx on the 40th precinct, I believe. And she was killed by an elderly lady, 14-year-old girl, elderly lady walking down the street. For some reason, she pulls out a knife and she just killed this 14-year-old girl. So, when he's talking about be cognizant, keep your eyes around you and don't, this other guy was disheveled and weak and he still did what he did. So don't take, elderly for weakness, or gotta keep cognizant and just be aware of your surroundings, not be scared, but be aware. People start getting close, and stuff, try to keep that 6 feet, even though we're not in COVID, but that zone is a safety zone.
Yeah, that's how it doesn't feel right. We all have those instincts. If they don't feel right, just treat people over.
Yeah.
We all get those feelings. This phone is nowhere nowadays. You don't know. Anybody else have any questions? I'll be here. Side. Okay, good. Everyone, have a great night.
Thank you. Next, we have Curio, followed by Kimber.
Stereo.
I've been trying, throwing news, right? All I want to say, page 9. Folks who believe in the computer, it's on there. The house that the DEA raided. The DEA had to come to my neighborhood. I am 4 houses away from that house. This officer here has been helping me for years about that. So I want to say, read the article. Okay, you don't want to have this where you live with your family, and it was right up the block from the school, 56. I want to thank everybody. I've been gone for 2 months. These people here, I know them for years. They work so hard. God bless them all. Thanksgiving for them. But I want to bring back another newspaper from 2016, how they wanted to envision Bedford Park. You remember this? Robert Street, right? And this beautiful board back then, they spent like $25,000 to make an argument for neighborhood preservation. What did they get for their money? Take a walk down to 201st Street and Valentine Avenue and Briggs. You'll see what's gonna come to this neighborhood. Kingsbridge, Norwood, and Bedford Park. They wanna rip down private houses and put up skyscrapers. They wanna box people in. The city of yes, it should be a city of no. Okay? They didn't learn from before of stacking people one on top of each other in the projects. No, they want to do it again. This is the new way. They don't want the people to own land. They don't want private citizens, especially of color, to own any land in this America. So they want to have homeowners who kids don't want to live in the neighborhood with them, sell out to these developers so they can put up skyscrapers. Go down on the bus there. Sorry, I'm a little lost here. Valentine Avenue, 5, 6 houses, all boarded up. They're coming down. They're gonna put up skyscrapers. Okay? It's true. Take a walk around. What used to be ain't what it used to be. But this board here, these people fight hard. This man here fights hard. I know him when his son was 7 years old. Okay, believe it or not, I am not as old as you think I am. But God bless you people for coming, and I want to say, come to the 52nd council meeting. So because of the 9th page of the Norwood News of this week, read the article. And there is sadness what happens to our senior citizens because of reverse mortgages. They're the culprits. The reverse mortgages are culprits. And I don't have enough time to explain that. God bless you, people.
Thank you, Syria. Thank you. Thank you, Syria. Next we have Kimberly, followed by Adelaide. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's right, sorry, you said that. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Troncoso. I'm a program leader with the Agate Group, which is an anti-poverty nonprofit based in South Bronx. So, I was here last month. If you turn to page 13 of the meeting agenda, you can see me explaining our core programs. Today, I'm going to be talking about other things that we have going on. So we have this small business initiative. And so if you sign up, I left all the brochures here around, but if you sign up, you're able to receive 1 free drink and 1 free apple cider at 3 different participating restaurants within the Mount Haven area. And the event is going to be going on tomorrow, December 7th. And there's a lot of turkey giveaways, and we have another one as well. It's going to be on Monday, the 25th, at 3 p.m. And also that paper in the front. You just have to register, and it's going to be in front of La Finca del Sur, which is a community garden right down the block from this. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is a scholarship opportunity for 2 senior high school students in the Dominican Republic. So we will be sponsoring them. Like, come over here, we'll sponsor their board and their placement at City College, all 4 years. And instead of, as well as giving them money, we will also like mentor them along the way. So if you know any seniors in the Dominican Republic that know a little bit of English, they can apply. And the scholarship is called Global Rising Scholarship. And you can find that information on our website at oyategroup.org. Yeah, that's really. Thank you. Next we have Adeline, followed by Marcel Lopez. That's all the way in the back. Can you reach there, or should we send it to her? Good. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. You can ask me. Like most. Person is now TV service. We church it for our business very term. No, it's fine. Don't be pretty clear. My hats off to you. Really proud. Thank you. What me, you really spent. Thank you. And it's not.
You should think of something to honor all guys who do it there. Who's like you? You know that, the Bronx Arts and Science Charter School, which I advocated for 2 years ago, has been given letters of support from elected officials from our own community. And we now expanded from K-5 to pre-K, 4-year-olds. And this year, I'm happy to say we expanded to this. It's our school did so well. So good that our sports bits back up. So I invite you, I don't do this class left, so if you want to call me, if you have a show you're thinking of, my number is 347-654-1756. And, I was just in Summers, and I was impressed how many elected officials are in here, who now support church. And I think that's a great emphasis to the community, to know that all of us have each other rights, safely, all done. Because it's really troubling, right here serving gardens where, right down there. And they caught the tenant, he was shot and killed. They were like, stop, 34, they were more than 8. But thankfully, finding that they well, they were still able to be, they learned. It's Sunlight has a pilot program, and most people don't know about. The current season they're doing. And there are some issues, a lot of seniors have told me with the voucher system. So I'm hoping somebody will get back to me and see if they can help me, I can give somebody the name of it. The other thing is, I know we don't get a report on the missing children and the missing adults in our community. And I spoke with the officer most of the time, the teenagers that come back. And I'm still concerned about them, particularly when we have a lot of gangs in the community and even the immigrant gangs coming in, if there's any trafficking. So I'd like to know some good things.
Thank you, Adeline. Next we have Marcel Lopez. Yes, sorry, Marcel, there is a question. Go ahead.
I'd like to know, what is the pilot program with accessorized?
You'll check the stuff around because they close with the my experience is, I don't give up. You call every day and say, pilot program available, I'll let you know. Have an opening, they're supposed to give us. All accessible daily. Ask them if they have the pilot program there. That's not my part.
So you're saying that, in other words, a person is supposed to call accessorize every day, but, and just ask about this pilot program because they don't offer information.
But we have a,
What did you say?
I'm sorry, just for clarification, program she's talking about, I believe, is where you can call it's almost like you can use Uber directly, right, rather than the current process.
So is it the go-go?
The current process, you have to put the application in the day before, and there's a lot of
You're
restraints.
supposed to make your
Right.
reservations.
Right.
You have to make your reservations
Right.
with any accessorized.
Yeah.
Thing.
So
But
this
they-
program,
all right, everyone. So, we'll find more information about it and share it with all of you.
Go-
So we'll do a little bit more research about the pilot program. All right, next we have Marcel Lopez.
Street minister. What I really want to bring to attention is the two. The election we're seeing, the schools. They want to. ES77. Not really choice, but.
Bronx community.
Yes, and so the issue kind of revolves around the fact that neither of these schools are doing any level of containerization of any of their garbage. And, I have a pretty days to walk my dog like 4 months a day, and pretty much so it seems they have to be happening garbage, even if it's recycling, I'm not spitting at it, it's blowing down the street, it's mostly of what we're actually, I'm noticing more, I can see that the students' papers is the trash making it into the mosh loop, being part of the mess on the mosh loop. And they also want to bring it to the third thing that I know, I don't know how particular subject this is. Part of the issue is the fact that, the times for street cleaning on Webster Avenue, also the times that the school goes into, tons of start,
Right.
which means that the parking is kind of taken off by teachers who have parking has that's permitted to be there, but it's right there, they're trying to, your own effect of what's the garbage container on it, that is going away, it's going on the street, that never gets cleaned up by the garbage, by the sweepers. Yeah, that's it.
I want to thank you, Marcella. I live a block away and near Webster Avenue. And I have seen that. The issue is,
Use the mic.
you want me to use the mic?
Should be on.
The schools are allowed, their containerization is only their composting. So if you'll see PS 77, you'll see that black and orange kind of like container. That's what they're supposed to put that in. And just like everybody else, we don't put our recycling in containers at all. But you make a good point, which is they do produce a lot of recycling, both schools. I think the charter school does a better job. They have the brown bins. They do a much better job of doing their composting in those brown bins. And they rarely have a lot of other kind of trash. PS 77 is a real issue. And a lot of it is that the, school custodial staff, they just throw the stuff. I noticed it, because when I walk my dog at night, I'll see that they'll have thrown it, and sometimes the bags break, and they just leave it there. I've mentioned that to sanitation, I'm gonna bring it up again, and make sure that they begin to collect. And I also agree with you on the issue of the schools. There's the school buses and either school, where some educators have, paths to be able to park. But that's at the same time that the sweepers need to come through. So we need to figure out how to get that done so that those streets can be cleaned properly. But thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo, thank you, Betty. We'll move on with Department of Sanitation and the schools. Next, I have Ronnie Silgado. Coalinga. Okay.
So my name, but your name, Fortune Society has decided, I'm gonna decide, put up building. Should be housing, formerly incarcerated, whatever you wanna call them, let's put any other name, ex-cons. They show up, this is what we're doing. That's not what you say, if anybody here says, this is what they do. They came to Jacoby Hospital, they deal with them, and then that, and the, health department, all of a sudden they have a building, it's already signed and rented. They're gonna put, it was sick and dying inmates from Rikers Island, they didn't have enough Rikers Island sick and dying inmates, it became pre-trial detainees to build this up, and it's all about the money. They get $1 million a year, they signed a 100-year lease, every 10 years they renew. So they don't know what's going in this building, and you don't know what's going into that building in the book, because it's none of your business. You're infringing on their Second Amendment rights, and we can't tell you who they are, what they're convicted of, but we're gonna put them there. And I'm willing to help anybody that's against, will make you doctors, will make you lawyers. You tell me what you need from me, I can do. I look at the take charge of anybody's organization. The King Springs Association, Homeless Association is involved. I'll make, you tell me you want 100 flyers, I'll make $100, we'll make them for you. We'll hand them to you. We're not looking to be more than help. People, I'm going to up. I'm here to help all of you. If you want it, if you totally understand, I called the community board a few times. And it is left messages. Nobody ever called me back. So, on the community board, Again, don't let bother level. Vice President, Jacoby Campbell,
Coming.
she's president of Mars Park, the CPL. So we did ask him a question.
At 8 o'clock, we turn.
Because he's, that's the wrong color of these things. We had to go out. They collect the, Fortune Society, and we were all racist. So they can see, this is a mixed grade. CP11 is mixed grade, people in this mixed grade. But, you know, that's what they like to throw out. So I said to them, that means there not gonna be any white persons. This, that means, okay? That was fine, that was going. So I said that. No, went down to the city yesterday, about 3 hours in, on the city of law. Check. But again, it's how long the last state companies. But you know, as I'm saying, anybody wants help, leave my name and address out front, write it down, for me. Like I said, I'm not here to take charge of anybody's organization. You want buttons, you want clients, I'm more than glad to make you whatever you need. Because we all have to get together and deal with these fortune societies, a lot of money. Bird gives them millions of dollars a year. Big banks give them because they feel that, oh, we gotta help these poor families. Well, think about the lady with the broken leg and broken eyes. That this guy ran over and that, because you have to be arrested and incarcerated, wasn't helping. Why no way to pass? That's.
This is the location of the building.
It's
No,
just,
we voted on that last time. Thank you, Ronnie, and just as a follow-up, on October 24th, 2024, the board sent a letter to the mayor's office in opposition of the proposed siting for the transitional housing project at 2586 Bay Ridge Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10458. On October 30th, in collaboration with Councilmember Feliz, Assemblymember Alvarez, Bronx Borough President Gibson, and the Pope Place Bainbridge Avenue Homeowners Association, we held a rally with press coverage to amplify our voices in opposition of the proposed siting. And now I'll pass the mic on to Councilmember Feliz so he can follow up and listen state on that.
Just want to say,
But there's a question here, yes, go ahead.
I just want to make a statement, because I understand what he's saying, because I'm from North Central. And I also represent the local portfolio programs. But it looks like what we're fighting is a done deal. Because what we have to understand is Rikers Island will be eventually closed. And then we also have to understand that on our used to be on Southern Boulevard, they will be building the new gym. So it's a hard saying of fighting or can't win when it looks like it's a real hard fight, because it seems like when Rikers Island comes, the majority of people will be in the Bronx.
you're just gonna say one thing. Look at here now, it's all these people on Rikers, mental issues. So instead of building more jails, why don't you build more hospitals to take care of these people?
All right, thank you. No, okay, thank you.
Can you answer that question, please?
Absolutely. Well, first, it's good to see you all. I'm Councilmember on police. I represent the victim team, who starts Grand Conference sections, with all the downwards. So I have two updates, on many different issues, including this one. First, I just want to thank all of you all for working in the doing, including our district manager, the chair of this, board. So a few updates. Since taking office, I've had a lot of priorities, and all related to this. And one priority that I've always had is making sure that the city is practicing fair share presence. We have, emergency housing is something that's important. We hate it, but sometimes it's important because we will have occasional fires, somebody exit silent, etc. But at the same time, it's really important that every community do their fair share. I'm not gonna give you some numbers. On the issue of shelters, we have over 30 homeless shelters in this council district. And that's only homeless shelters. That doesn't account to, also the asylum seeker shelters, which is another category.
And also transitional housing, which is basically the same thing as a shelter, but different name. So really think that we, push towards, the fair share issue, making sure that when they're thinking about building shelters, transitional housing, making sure that they don't just look at this area. And you know, this issue, that's exactly what they're doing, they wanted to bring transitional housing literally right next to homeless, was what they're looking to show. For 30 seconds. So that's obviously. Now, on this issue, we've been fighting really hard, not only publicly, but also behind the scenes. I first learned about this issue earlier this year. They called me, they said, hey, Oswald, we're thinking of doing this. As soon as we, heard about that, myself, also the Bronx president, Dennis Gibson, and there's Mary John Bayat, and something like Joe Johnson. We all wrote a letter to the mayor saying, basically saying, hell no. We need this, we're not here, we're already completely oversaturated. They can't just continue to, when they're thinking about shelter, transition housing, to say, oh, let's film towards water around, let's think about it. And we're not the only conversation. Interestingly, the city wanted to bring, 3 of these, that transition housing for people in records. But I guess just to think about the fair share issue, or to hit on that, they were literally looking into the 3 or zip codes, including my district. They were thinking of bringing one in because my district is also fighting that. And then council member, the other districts. Literally the 3 most covered zip codes, they wanted to bring even one. So we wrote a letter, there's a lot of clarifications. In August, we received notifications saying, oh, you know, quote unquote, this is a classification given the station, etc. And that's when they finally came to the more or less September. So, as all you know, the city is fighting. We also held a public rally. Now, again, I want to thank this board, the district manager, the chair, and all of you being part of that, and also the Old Base Homeowner Association. Interestingly, some good news, not perfect news on that, some good news. 1 hour before that rally was, I got the mayor's office saying that the plan is stopped. So, you know, give yourself a number that we're against to give you. Now, all of you did a great job just making sure that they knew that we were gonna work with them behind the scenes, but also if the people that behind the scenes, they didn't work, we were gonna go public, which we did, and we were able to get back to the result. Now, again, it's not a perfect result, pause only means that the project is paused, they can resume it anything, but pause is better than moving forward. Of course, we need to make sure that we continue, putting pressure, so we could start that. So we might need that, given that people are silent. Again, people might have health emergencies in case of a fire, just any type of emergency. But we can't just continue to build the same housing, the same school rooms and close to the homes. That's not fair, that's unfair. And also, people living in Rikers, they need a lot of help including access to economic opportunities. Why post office generating taxpayers unemployment, right? That's for anybody, not people here, not for the people that, you know, need access to many things. They say, congratulations, city fighting, fight is not over, but, you know, I think, yeah, we've done great job so far. Yeah, that good result is shows that the good work that we've done. That issue. Also, while I'm here providing updates, another thing that's important to all of you, I know that we've all been working, is the issue that we had at the Kingsbridge underpass. So that's been a big priority for myself and also for the local elected officials. We were able to walk in, this was last year, around the Kingsbridge underpass, myself, also Scotty Member, George Democrats, and the mayor. And we were able to get that one health truck, to people. We weren't given an option as to whether we're going to do it, so. And one reason why we wanted to move was because, you know, that one health truck, they call it a mobile legal exchange program, they're not really exchanging, giving it. You can find legal, there's no exchanging, and generally they give private deals. So, you know, you could tell the sensation about Phoenix, what's on it the next day, so you know, that's not a great solution. And it's also very responsible, given that it's literally right across the street. And also, we actually don't, you know, we found the, make sure mistake, and put now see that, other than, yeah, maybe like that. You know, like treated, day. So we were able to get the culture moved, that was, I guess, what the community thought, the problem is now that, one health factor, everything. It's go with people decide where they decide they got it, 500 cases, people are literally shooting at. Really, so working to see the conversation. That's side of. Started with, working on time. We might need services, but we shouldn't put that in guys to. Right? Should report. Yeah. You have to see, then, back to the. You know. Could be, Sure.
Thank you, council member. Oh, yes, someone has a question. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. If you look at the paper you showed, I'm on the cover. I'm an appointee with Vanessa Gibson. I also work with Northwest Clergy Coalition as well as the Bronx Wide. So I do a bunch of stuff. My son is a correction seal at Bronx. What I want to hear is someone needs to be at the table at these meetings. Because I'm on this, I see everything, I hear everything. So I am in tune with everything I heard tonight. But get back to our new school superintendent for District 10. I'll get the information from the next district, like I said, yes, it's Norwood cover, I'm to her left.
What's her name? I'm sorry, what's her name?
Surreal.
Emma Ola.
I love it. Serious. Why not? Thank you. All right, Madam First Vice Chair, then
I'm
this
sorry.
concludes the public hearing.
Sorry, okay, when it came, underpaid, I actually filed several complaints. And yes, your homework. 21 people I emailed, and they showed up with that underpass. So we gotta work these numbers, we gotta get our elected officials and our community back on point. Cause it's gonna get worse.
Thank you, Ms. Alora. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Barbara Stronson. I'm first vice chair of Community Board 7. I'm subbing as the chairperson tonight because Yahira Arias was not able to be with us. Okay, we will start with the district manager's update.
Thank you, Barbara. Hang in there. They're pretty lengthy. So just a quick update from the district service cabinet meeting. The business improvement districts and TV7 are experiencing issues with unlicensed street vendors and illegal dumping. Department of Social Services /or Department of Homeless Services will provide a footprint of their facilities in our district. The Department of Design and Construction mentioned that the following projects are near completion: the reconstruction of safe routes to school in the Bronx, the Bainbridge Avenue project. I know Lowell is probably very happy about that one. And they will begin construction of the Grand Concourse Phase 5, and they're coming to the committee next month. The Department for the Aging mentioned that Medicare enrollment is open from October 15th to December 7th. If anyone needs assistance navigating the process and getting an explanation, they may call Aging Connect at 212-244-6469. The Department of Mental Health, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene released an annual report on overdose deaths. There was a small decrease, however, disparities among race still persist. The Department of Parks and Recreation has begun recruiting lifeguards for the 2025 season. Our Transit District 11 is taking an initiative to combat subway surfing by going to high schools and speaking directly with students. Our Department of Environmental Protection lead service line replacement is ongoing. I do have a map and a link with the Q&A. This This report is going to be on our minutes. And they will be posted online, but if you would like to have them beforehand, you can always email the office. The Department of Education, started December 10th, families with children born in 2020 can apply to kindergarten for the 2025-2026 school year. You can apply at myschools.nyc for questions, for elementary admissions. You can call 718-935-2009 or email esenrollment@schools.nyc.gov. The Department of Transportation New York City Open Street Program is accepting applications. The deadlines to apply are January 31st for wave 1 and March 31st next year. For more information, you can email openstreets@dot.nyc.gov. Almost there.
Okay, take your time.
And November 29th, 2024 is the final day to remove Broadway outdoor dining setups under the New York City Council. The Broadway outdoor dining season operates from April 1st through November 29th of each year. The fire department gave updates for the month of October. CB7 had 48 fires, an increase of 45.5% compared to last year, with a response time of 5 minutes. CB7 had 675 EMS runs and 0.3% reduction compared to last year, with a response time of 6.25 minutes. The Department of Finance said that the deadline to apply for cooperative and condominium tax abatement is February 15th, 2025. And to apply for the senior citizens homeowners exemption is March 15th, 2025. They'll probably be invited to a housing meeting in January, so be on the lookout for that agenda and presentation. The American Red Cross is looking for volunteers. As of now, they only have 41 Bronxites who volunteer with them, and they're looking for more. And upcoming events, our last participatory budgeting session is on Friday, November 22nd, from 4 to 6 p.m. Dinner will be provided. I'm gonna tell you the menu just as an incentive. We'll have garbanzo bean soup, arugula with pear and cranberry salad, chicken marsala with garlic mashed potatoes, and roasted Brussels sprouts. And pineapple upside down cake for dessert. So the flyer is on page 7. Please sign up, yes, and encourage your neighbors to sign up, your friends. We need 50 people. Please help us. And last but not least, on page 8, you will find the flyer for our annual tree lighting ceremony on December 12th from 6 to 7 p.m. And that concludes my updates and the chair.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to the roll call for attendance.
So,
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Larry Sirkowski.
Present.
Betty Arthur.
Betty Arce present.
Michelle Miller. Henry Buford. Present. Montour Chowdhury. Jasmine Clatterswood. Molly Ford. Roger Harris. Joanna Jackson. Dr. Grant. Lowell Green.
Lowell Green is present.
Leslie Harris. Leslie Harrison. What's signature here? Yeah. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill present.
Confusion Williams. Andrew Leos. Present. Stephen Bogart Levon. Present. You, Rosalie Leslie. Present. Jesus Lopez Henson. Martin. Somerville. Diana Premier. Arthur Red,
Present.
Janelle Robinson. Robert Lamont. Present. Hugh Smith, Corolla. Mamadou Saleh.
Present.
David Strong.
Present.
It's very hard. Gwen Steve. Yuleka Ventura. Two, Ron Walker Santiago. Jane Wilson.
Present.
And Bernard White. Thank you, we have.
Thank you, Helene. We'll move on to, review last month's minutes. Please take a look. They're in your packet.
Page 9,
Page 9
20.
to 20.
Hold on. Hold on.
I move that we approve the minutes. All right, so we have a second to Betty's motion. Jean? Right, any comments, changes in what was presented? All right, we'll take a vote.
Debbie Orson.
Approved.
Colin Hughes. Roger Terry. Jasmine Claflin. Colin Porter. Sandra Harrison. Martha Jackson. Yeah, Mr. Grant.
Approved.
Lowell Green.
Staying as I was not present at the meeting.
Yeah. Leslie Harrison. Tony Harris. Yeah. Yeah.
Approved.
You should call it. Anybody else? Stephen Bowler, about.
Approved.
Rosalie Les. Chris Law consensus.
Present.
Marcus Miller.
Reynolds Bruce.
Dale Roberts. Here. So are you saying we could stay or? Samuel. George Strong.
Approved.
Eureka Ventura. Ron Wolf Santiago. Steve, that was not you. Jake Wilson.
Jake Wilson approves.
Two, and Bernard Reisner. Thank you. Motion. Trust.
Okay, we will move on to our motions. We have one this evening that's coming from the executive committee. Jean, you please present.
Page 26, 26 and 27.
Motion is for the co-naming of the James Baldwin Plaza, which is on the other side of the Clinton. This was voted on by the executive committee. The motion will be addressed to the New York City Department of Transportation, the DOT, and Bronx CD7 elected officials. And we're asking them to send a letter of support to the New York City Department of Transportation in support of co-naming Goulden Plaza, James Baldwin Plaza. Background, does everybody know who James Baldwin is? If you don't know who James Baldwin is, he was a famous writer. It goes back to the late 50s, early 60s. He wrote some very important books. I know a lot of you may have seen the movie If Beale Street Could Talk. He wrote another book called Giovanni's Room.
Yes.
You know, he wrote some very, very well-received books. He wrote poetry, he wrote prose. He was a very influential Black writer back in that day. Before there was Google and all this stuff, we used to pass books back and, okay, so we got to read a lot of poems. He was one of the most famous of them.
Black and gay.
Yes, he was Black and gay, thank you. So on April 15, 2024, the New York City Department of Transportation, the New York City Plaza Program selected James Baldwin's Outdoor Learning Center application for a plaza on the Slip Road adjacent to the James Baldwin Outdoor Learning Center. It's between Goulden Avenue, Cedric Avenue, and West Missoula Parkway South in Bronx Community Board 7, CD7. And the links you can have, you can go look up the links for co-naming of James Baldwin Plaza, and it's written in the packet. If you don't have it, you can always pick that up. And Bronx Community Board 7 supports co-naming the plaza James Baldwin Plaza as James Baldwin, who lived between 1924 and 1987, was a beloved writer and civil rights activist, and also attended DeWitt Clinton High School, when DeWitt Clinton was an all-boys school, for those of you who don't know. In addition, JBOLC handed the board a petition with 143 signatures from the surrounding community in support of co-naming Goulden Plaza, James Baldwin Plaza. On October 20th, 2023, CB7 and Housing, Land Use and Economic Development Committee supported a motion to support JBOLC applications to DOT's Plaza program. Okay, so we have voted on it, and we are putting forth this motion for the rest of you to vote on this. The vote was on October 11/7, CD7's Traffic and Transportation Committee did not need quorum, but motion was tabled to the Executive Committee on 11/14. The Executive Committee voted 6 in favor, no shows, no abstentions, and 2 absents. Thank you.
All right, do we have a second for Jean's motion? Second motion. All right, are there any questions related to the motion that's on the table? Just a clarification, so it'll still say Goulden Plaza, but we'll also have a plaque or something that will say James Baldwin. There'll be a co-naming right under the street name. Okay, any other questions? All right, we will move on for the vote.
Mr. Collins.
Approves.
Robert.
Approves.
Michelle Bueller. Toby Buford. Toby Buford approves. Margaret Chowdhury. Jasmine Clyburn. Emily Pearl. Sandra Erickson. Rowan Jackson. Alfred Grant. Lowell Green. I approve. Leslie Harris. And William Morgan, as you approves. Jean Hill. Jean Hill approves. Fusion Collier. Andrew Leosa. Stephen Walbert Laval.
Wholeheartedly approved, above and down.
Rosalie Leslie. Leslie. Peggy Lopez Henson.
Bruce.
Yeah, Janelle Roberts. Roger Rolon.
Association with DJ Baldwin, right?
Standing with.
No, she doesn't vote.
It's a conflict of interest.
Right, so, not to do half of the. Session?
No, I'm voting.
No,
Yeah.
No, it's not an abstention, no.
all right, and please control law. You Sapper. Armstrong.
Approved.
You like the Ventura? You're liable to Santiago? Eric Wilson?
Jake Wilson, approved.
Bernard Wright is absent. Motion passes.
Yay.
Good job. Okay, thank you. We will, move the agenda to committee reports. We will start with environment and sanitation. Okay, I.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I wrote a lot this time, because we had a really very good meeting, but I'm going to keep it short and you can read the, minutes. We had, presentations by the Department of Environment Protection on, ironically, on flooding and, but the first thing that, Ms. Artizone, who is the, Bronx Borough Commissioner for the Department of Environmental Protection, mentioned is that we are in a drought watch. We may have some rain tomorrow, but it has been really very difficult for these past, almost like, the whole month of October. We haven't had rain, so there have been, fires throughout, not only the Bronx, but throughout the city. So, this continues and we ask everyone to conserve water as much as possible. You will see tips in the links. You go to the tips page, there'll be links on how you can conserve water, repair leaks, take shorter baths or showers, run your dishwasher at a later time when it's not necessary. And another report was on rainfall readiness, which is information for, usually for private homeowners on how to, manage and protect their homes from flooding and sewer backups. The flood preparation, presentation was very extensive, and there's a lot of information, beginning on page 28 through 20. And it continues through page 30 on flooding. We don't have as much flooding in our district, but there's still, effects from when we do have torrential rains, very strong wind, rains. We've had more rain in the last couple of years. We've had a lot of rain, this past year. Not at this time, unfortunately, but we have had it and it has had an impact. Something that, the commissioner mentioned was that the Bronx was hardest hit on August 6th rainstorm with rainfall between 4 and 5.4 inches in a 24-hour period. So it can happen once it does rain. So we just have to be aware, and there are things that are being done, particularly not just to homes, but also to streets, catch basins, the sewers, trying to clean those, keep those, clear of trash so that, those property owners who, have, storm, drains and catch basins in front of their property are required to clean those. They're supposed to sweep the trash away from that so that when it does rain, it doesn't overflood our streets. And then there are programs that the city has implemented, a bunch of citywide efforts to better manage stormwater to prevent flooding. And you'll see that there are a bunch of new things that are being done, including, something called porous pavements, which is pavement that absorbs water, flood net sensors in certain parts of the Bronx, not in some areas, but the areas that are prone to flooding. There are actually flood net sensors that indicate and tell, provide life-saving information to city agencies when there's flooding, going to take place. So there's a group of things. I don't want to go into all the details. The second presentation was by the Department of Sanitation, and we discussed waste containerization. Every single building, of 1 and 2 family homes and buildings with up to 9 apartments are required to containerize their trash. The trash bins right now that they can use are any trash bins that have a secure, that can have a lid that's attached and is secure. And there should be sufficient trash bins for every black bag, and not to throw the trash into those trash bins there, to bag it and put it inside those trash bins. The sanitation will begin to issue warnings between 11/12, which was last week, through the 2nd of January. And after that warning period, there will be fines issued beginning at $50 and increasing up to $300 for subsequent failure to comply. Property owners need to ensure that there are enough bins to accommodate all their trash. So if there are extra bags, you must have an extra bin. I know it seems to be an issue for a lot of people, but there need to be at least more sufficient bins in order to be able to accommodate your trash as much as possible. At some point, there will be a discussion on larger apartment buildings. That's still in discussion because that requires a different type of accommodation, which means might be street side type of dumpsters. There's still talk about how it's going to be done. And I know that this is a hardship for the homeowners who have to do it this way. I, as a homeowner, do that, and I live next to an apartment building. So I'm putting my trash in a trash bin, but the apartment building continues to put their trash out in black bags. And that's it is unfair. I want to do my part, and I'm hoping that at some point we can get the apartment buildings to be able to comply as well. I know it's going to be a long time before that happens, but those of you who are required to do it, please do so. You can purchase the DSNY trash can, which you will have to have by 2026, but in the meantime, you can use any size trash from 13 gallons up to 55 gallons, as long as it's covered, the lid is attached to the trash bin, and usually on wheels, so that the sanitation crew can easily pull it out and take out your trash. The other is curbside composting, which is a little more difficult, and that is that residents must separate leaf and yard waste and food scraps from the regular trash. The rule is mandatory, and there is weekly collection, and that compost trash is collected on the same day as your recycling. So you would put out your brown bin, if you have a brown bin, or any bin that's labeled as food scraps or composting in any way that you want to present it, and put that out as well. That is also to help to alleviate and mitigate against rats, which is what we try to do. So we don't have bags of food waste that has, bags of trash that have food waste in it, and putting it out on the sidewalk for rats to gorge on. So we're hoping that more and more people participate in the program. That again also is, there are fines there are these fines levied at people who do not do this properly. So, and again, there are virtual sessions that people can sign up for to learn more about curbside composting, as well as for sessions for property managers, superintendents, board members, and owners. There's one on November 21st. It's all virtual. You can watch it, and the link is there. So if you live in an apartment building where you would like curbside composting to be offered, refer your superintendent, your building manager, or your board members. If you live in a co-op or that kind of setup, have them look at join that, or contact DSNY and get more information on that. The last is, we want to try to get more of our businesses to follow the cleaning rules. And there are fines for cleanliness are going up. So they're starting at $50, going up to $500. They're going to start escalating the fines more and more. Businesses are required to clean and keep their sidewalks clean. So if you see that happening, You may want to make a notation to them, tell them that they're supposed to keep the sidewalks clean as much as possible. We did get questions about the brown bins or the trash bins if they get stolen. We were told that, if they are stolen, each bin has a barcode. That doesn't mean that it'll be found, but you can make a report to the police department about stolen property, but you will have to purchase or acquire another trash bin, in order to be in compliance with the rules. And the last thing is our next meeting will be January 7th. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I'll move on. Any questions? Yes, Flo.
I'd just like to make a comment that the gentleman from sanitation, I think, was very impressed with how serious our committee took this whole matter, and that we asked very serious, in-depth questions. And I don't think he'd really thought this far in advance, the serious questions we asked. And he said he'd get back to us. And I think he wasn't prepared for how smart we were.
Right.
And how serious we took this whole issue. And I think he learned more from us than we did from him.
Well, I think it was balanced, and I think that it's our commitment to, this is a step that we can take to try to keep our neighborhoods clean, as much as possible. So that can be a very important, part. It's a very difficult, thing to do. We've all complained about trash and garbage, and this is just one, and it's just one measure that we can take, to try to help keep our neighborhoods clean. So I hope everyone cooperates and reviews the information and goes to the links. They're very interesting. They're really good. They're very well presented. And I think you'll learn a lot, from them.
Thank you, Betty, and thank you, Lowell. He did follow up the brown bins. That's something you can no longer apply for free.
Right.
So now you have to purchase it. The deadline to get it for free was October 30th.
But he did say that you can use any kind of bin that's labeled that way, and you can get free labels for that. And we'll try to see if we can secure labels at the community board that you can then pick up and slap on whatever container you want for the composting.
Okay. All right, thank you, Betty. I see we have two council people with us, so we'll start with Councilmember Sanchez. Would you come up, please?
Good, get it. Or maybe the mic can make it to you, look. Yeah. The mic goes good, all right.
Hi, Mama.
Maybe I'll be having contractions, I don't know.
Out here.
Can everybody see me if I sit? I'm serious. I was first hearing earlier, Eric and I told him that I was having contractions, and he's like, do we need to drive back up to Bronx? I said, maybe. No, but they're, the practice kind for those of you who have contractions.
I spent the whole day in contraction.
Well, anyway. Okay, let me stop, running through my time here. Eric, we can dance this together.
I'll do it together. This is some pictures of you. I'm just gonna take this.
37 weeks tomorrow, so it's a full term meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so first order of business, and Eric can talk about this too, tomorrow, this Thursday, we're gonna be voting on the modifications. We've been negotiating with the administration for a city for yes for housing. We heard the community loud and clear. There's a lot of concerns that people had, and there's a lot of negotiations back and forth. I'll share that one of my biggest priorities in all of this is a plan that the counter plan that the speaker put forth with the city members called City for All, which acknowledges that zoning is only one piece of the equation, not some crisis. We want to see affordability, we want to see investments, we want to help to pay their rent, we want to help expand homeownership. So we put out a counter plan, and the recognition of a council body is led by the speaker, is to say we need to see investments. We all want us to pass City of Yes. So that is going to be, the modification vote is on Thursday. It's very exciting.
J51 is a tax incentive to help, repair old buildings, old multiple dwellings, I think, you know, a couple of those.
Yeah.
So that is set to pass by the end of the year as well, very active. And specifically for any folks who live in Fordham Hill or folks who live in 2630 is in C8. The 2630 Kingsbridge Terrace, those big pull-ups, this is for you, right? This is hundreds of thousands of dollars to help you to, improve your building quality. In the last 2 weeks, I'm just trying to cram it all in. I had a hearing on legal lockouts and tenant safety. We had a hearing today on deed theft. And today we had a hearing also on accessory dwelling units. Happy to talk more about that, but because it was so recent, if you have any comments on those topics, please send them our way. There's legislation attached, ways wanting to hear, and this one's for you. We're updating the electrical code. The bill is gonna be passing this Thursday. We hadn't done it as a city since 2008, so that updated electrical code allows our buildings that are newly constructed to be more prepared for electrification, vehicle charging, for all the different things that are happening because it's 2024. Most places it's 2024, some places it's gonna be 1950.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Street vending is an issue that I have been working on, and hearing about the community, like for large, very large account. We've had a couple of conversations among members, and this Friday, there are gonna be a series of meetings that bring together different, they finally said yes, sir.
Good, oh.
So, yeah. A series of convenings that bring together different stakeholder groups, right? So street vendors themselves, small businesses, other brick and mortar interests. We're just trying to get everybody together and talking about street vending to try to push forward the reform because the system is broken. We all know it is. But without reforming the system, which has to do with enforcement, which has to do with the number of licenses out there, we're really gonna be stuck in this place where you see a vendor, maybe sanitation comes, maybe NYPD comes, they throw away all their stuff, then folks are back in the police, it's fair to them, it's unfair to everyone really, and it's always. Last but not least, there's an exciting, on the legislative front, last but not least, there is an exciting announcement that should be coming out of the PC around this big building in our district called the Kingsbridge Armory. It's across the street from Eric's district, almost was Eric's district. We found it out, it was great. We negotiated it, I'm very. And then, last but not least, on district issues, if you know anybody really, use a turkey, it's a little late, but if you know folks that really we want to just have them reach to our office, we have our major event from our office with the Gardner Foundation at St. James Park this Saturday. They have like 3,000 turkeys. So like 2,000 work. There's gonna be a line, set is right here. But come through, there's always music, there's hot chocolate, and I'll be hobbling around. So everyone's later. We're partnering with Councilmember Tapia on 11/26, that's next Tuesday on another large turkey distribution, so you can share with you over that. And my last and district thing is very proud to work with my colleagues, with a bunch of us, I don't know who it was, but I was one of them. My office put in $10,000 to put holiday lights on Kingsbridge Road. Wow. Association in North of Bronx. I'm probably over, so thank you, wish me luck, and I love you all.
We love you. What is that?
And she's got 5.
I got it.
I didn't take any questions for Eric, come on.
I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna get as comfortable as you. Well, she said all the good stuff. And I was writing it down because I realized I'm not as organized as she is and doesn't have the notes. But I do have to, can you all give theory that our council organizations are a round of applause, another one? I didn't know why you clapped, you just trust me. The food part, the vending has been a really, really tough issue. And this is one of those things in the council where there are different people who have different perspectives. I have real concerns about what I'm seeing on the street, especially in this district on Jerome Avenue. And one of the things, Councilmember Sanchez is doing is she's working extremely hard to make sure all voices are at the table. Because she recognizes that it's important to hear from our vendors, but it's also important to hear from the people walking down the street who may be impacted by it. And the small businesses, that may be competing with the vendors and all the stakeholders. So I really have to give it up to her for really trying to bring everyone together and get all voices in the room. She mentioned City of Yes. I do want to acknowledge that we are voting on modifications this Thursday. I know this board voted in favor of it with some recommendations. I know a big one for this board has been parking. That's been a big one for me, because anyone who lives in the community or drives in the community knows it is already challenging to drive around and to park. So we are working on changes to make that more palatable. I still have concerns, I have to be honest, I still have concerns, even with some of the changes about SROs, about single room occupancy, what that looks like. Are they all gonna be shoved into one community? What the transit-oriented development would look like? Does it significantly increase density in certain parts of the district? Those are still concerns I have. And so I'm still working with land use to sift out what are the changes being made to that. And by the way, if I known that lights were so popular, I would have just like told you all I'm doing is lights. But we also allocate funding to the Jerome Gun Hill bid to get lights on Gun Hill Road. How come she gets applause for that? So. Gun Hill Road? Is he?
No.
No,
Part-
7, yes,
both.
part.
it's not mine.
Oh my God, you made me feel brilliant. CB8. The Jams shelter is also CB7, right?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes,
you're
you're right,
making me
you're
like
right.
really nervous about everything I'm about to say. The Jerome Avenue Men's Shelter. So, the one on Jerome. Bobby's Bay, yeah. Right, but then also, you know, we've got over the years a lot of complaints on Gun Hill Road on Jerome Avenue. Not just about people loitering, but about things like theft and harassment. And so we've been working with Bronx and the shelter. They started attending, a representative from Bronx started attending things like the precinct council meetings and the bid meetings. And now, I think it's tomorrow night, they're having their community advisory board meetings. They're convening, a whole group. You want to tell you when and where it is?
They're actually.
Now,
Email.
email, all right, I'll email just you, Serial, and CB7. It might be on Zoom.
It's on Zoom, yeah.
Okay, clearly you have the information, but this is something that's really important, similar to Councilmember Sanchez, community working together, coming together to solve the problems that exist here. We're also doing our turkey giveaways, I think 94 is this Saturday, we're at Tracy Towers, we did it at the Marshall and Montefiore Community Center, and of course, other parts of my district, those are in, CB7. You know, we got holiday lights on Gun Hill Road, let me try it again. Thank you, that's so much better. And lastly, there was legislation, I think I spoke about this a few meetings ago. We have a whole 311 reform package at my office, but the most recent one, I think, is hopefully starting to address, probably the biggest complaint we get about 311, is when you make a complaint about a tree, a pothole, and you look at your app, it's closed. My legislation says, well, you're gonna be allowed to provide immediate feedback, whether it was actually closed and anything else, and it'll provide an agency report card. And what that does for us, it provides the data we need to actually have oversight, because that's what we do in the council. We have oversight over the agencies. So that legislation is gonna help us in the effort to have oversight, so we can make sure that your voices are heard, that you have a voice, more of a voice in city government. I have a few other pieces in that package, but that's kind of the one I'm trying to push right now. We had a hearing on it back in September, so we're trying to get a vote, trying to make sure it can go forward. And lastly, you know, I see the North Central Bronx Hospital shirt, so I might as well mention that between there and Montefiore Hospital, we've allocated hundreds of thousands of dollars. And at Montefiore, we just celebrated 2 weeks ago, we gave them funding for a mammography van. So they can go all over the district, all over the Bronx, and do mammograms to make sure meeting people where they are, because it's so obvious early detection is the key. So I will leave it there, and we could do joint questions, if anyone, because I know someone in the back questions the law on.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, everyone. We do have to be out of the space at 8:30. So any questions, you can email me. We'll make sure we reroute them and then we'll be back. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you both very much for your presentations. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight.
Okay, you want questions, you want them sent, we send them to you, or how do you want them? We can call you up tomorrow morning or email them?
Yes. And if text me, accept all forms of communication.
All right, we'll move on to education, youth and libraries, Lurs.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. We met last week. We had a nice meeting, a presentation by Jennifer Seating. And we also discussed, there are a lot of education, youth and library related issues that, community members have learned about. We discussed what a public hearing or involved would look like. So we just discussed what hosting one in the spring would look like. Can check the minutes for details.
Thank you. Traffic and transportation, Edgar.
We were unable to have a meeting due to lack of quorum. Our next meeting will be December 5th, and as was stated earlier, gonna have city come and give us their information about moving forward with the construction on the Grand Concourse. I think it's DDC design something.
Yes.
That we there to present.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have anybody here to present from the housing committee?
I just have a comment quickly before that. It was located at CUNY on
What?
the location.
Oh, it's taken.
So it has,
Everyone, good evening, I'm kind of brief. We had a joint meeting, housing and land use, economic development committee and public services committee, housing components. We had a visitor, Rick, from neighborhood development, for your own friend bid. He came to present, his work. CB 7, route work, there's 3 corridors, Jerome Gunhill, Cambridge 204, and White Plains Road. Wasn't sure, I'm not sure exactly, but this time size 7. So he talked a little bit about the work that they're doing, more specifically to help people. To
thank you. Can I ask, Zeus, can you answer, I mean, I saw in the minutes that the MPC talked about, what kind of work, what kind of things do they do? Which I have a lot of issues about.
The minutes are coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
separate from that? Okay.
They're draft. They have, that's why they're in draft.
Okay, fine, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Parks Committee, we had both Allison Jackson and Valerie Davis from the Parks Department, and they presented Vital Parks for All, Investing in New York City's Living Infrastructure, which is the new initiative of our city parks commissioner. She's hoping to get $3.2 billion to restore parks throughout the city and to strengthen the park system. Of course, our question was, where is the money coming from? And they shrugged their shoulders and said, we don't know yet. So hopefully we'll see it. One other good thing, Parks Department hired 76 new workers recently. Of the 76, our district got 4, which is not too many, being that we have 11 parks in CD7. The rest of the information is located in my minutes. I hope to see everybody on December 12th at 6 o'clock at the tree lighting ceremony. All right, the next committee, Barbara? Yes.
About the Oval Fire, do they know what caused it?
No. Health and Human Services, anybody from that committee here?
They met with housing.
Oh, right, they met with, housing, that's right, sorry. Budget, Personnel and Ethics, Jean?
Okay, the budget and capital expense requests were reviewed, discussed, and finalized. The public hearing was held on October 22nd, 24. And we finalized the information then. Our next budget personnel meeting will be on December the 9th, which is a Monday, and it will be at Tracy Towers.
Thank you. We will move on to the reports from our elected officials. Is there anyone here from Congressman Espaillat's office? No? Congressman Richie Torres? The mayor's office? All right. New York City Public Advocate's office? All right. New York City Controller's office? Bronx Borough President's office? Annie, okay. Gee.
Thank you, I wish I was here. Quickly, I'm gonna make this brief as possible, so real quick, statement regarding the election, applicant this 2024 city election represents a start to right. Sobering reminder of the work we need to do to bridge these divides, ensure that all our voices are heard. As we move forward, we must remain vigilant and committed to educating residents, regardless of who serves in the White House. We will continue to work with our local, state, and federal parts, the rights of our families, ensure that our community needs are prioritized in these times of uncertainty. It's vital that we come together and regardless of the political affiliation to safeguard our residents' rights. We'll see, rights to eat, our rights to eat, and live in the country. That being said, we're Bronx president, the hosting with the Tracy Towers Tennis Organization led by Eugene Hill, with 197. Our giveaway located at 40 Marsh West
20.
20 West Marsh 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. The BP attendance almost our control numbers with some people and work with various with Senator Rickson. This is celebrated for each heritage by Bodybook Village team. The borough president will be having the November Conversation Resource Fair dedicated to raising awareness of health disparities among men in our borough. Going years for the November. And it's gonna be, and we're gonna have Wednesday, tomorrow, the 20th, from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. at PS 246 Gymnasium. That's located at 2641 Grand Concourse. Bronx President will be hosting the CIS Bronx Borough President's Cup at PS 70 Chess Championships, December 7th. You can register now, www.chessintheschools.org. So our ombudsman unit is located at Borough Hall, 851 Grand Concord, room 123, exactly next to Bronx Bar Association. The number there is 718-590-3500. My number is 347-213-3700. My email is K as in Kenny, G as in gas. My most HUSTO at Bronx. DPs as the board president, NYC.gov. As well as celebrate to our veterans, we thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. Keep it rocking. Be Thanksgiving, and since we're not gonna see each other, be Hanukkah, be Christmas, be Kwanzaa. Okay, please. Thank you, Grandpa, and go Yankees.
Okay, little late for that. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on. Is there anyone here from the Bronx District Attorney's Office?
Wepa.
All right.
Trayvon.
Trayvon, okay.
Thanks, everyone. All that, running, K's office, very quickly, national staff. Clearing up with destination tomorrow for a canned food drive until Friday. Perishable foods, that welcome. I'm supporting up with New York Cares for coat drive until December 22nd. The phone number is 917-946-3138. Call me back, call me, let's get up some time to come up, pick up your M4, 798 East 165th Street. 145. Any questions for me?
Cricket.
Yeah,
Oh, so co-drive. Partner with New York Care until December 22nd. Phone number is 917-946-3438. Call me, we'll schedule time to pick. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on. Anyone here from New York State Senator Gustavo Rivera's office?
Yes.
Sorry. Sorry. That's sorry. Okay.
We're gonna go this way, just my flight's over here.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. There's a couple things I'll make it quick. If you want to keep in touch with the senator and what he is doing, please sign up for a newsletter in English, WhatsApp in Spanish. So please do that. You want to keep up not only on events, but what is going to happen in session in January is going to be an interesting session. So please keep in touch. We will be closing our office from December 16th to January 1st. The break in pursue operations on January 2nd. We continue to hold housing and immigration clinics for appointments. We will be adding 2 turkey giveaways from November 25th. Equally Tuesday, we do houses and yeah, the other at the Morris Community Garden, like that's not CD7, but currently, and tomorrow will be a trade. So for my favorite options, I wanted to just a couple things I was doing earlier, right? There have been a lot of conversations, a lot of convenings regarding the Kingsbridge Underground and around that Stone Park, Stone Place, and St. James. Right? The senator has been holding monthly convenings since May. A lot of these convenings were not joined by local elected officials, and these meetings included plan, second relocation, or the deep timber. One of the other things I would talk about is short-term solutions, because we understand that this refers solution that is not feasible for a year or overnight, right? So, I urge you to please retire your conditions to join this act. One of the acts that recently made was to the Office of Addiction Service and Support for more volunteer family funds to be allocated to the funds. What does that? That was the organization that I have in the service the area of things. So we just connect those services because I think we all need some kind of service, whether that's housing, rental, immigration, everything needs right? So all these organizations are locally owned by commercial church and the open investment fund one allocated. And after the time, so that for some of the local especially the younger expansion, for business, more that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, or comments, you can have here. You,
Okay. Thank you. Do we have anyone here from State Senator Robert Jackson's office?
Hey. Welcome.
There you go.
Good evening, everybody. So, my name is Edgar, I Senator Jackson's office. So just for the fun stuff, on Monday, going to be Saturday, church, we'll be at First Out between University of Health and, not long, these very good ones. We'll not be there study. No, but, we will be giving out turkeys for free every year, on Saturday. Also, in order to keep in touch with everything that's there at our office. We have a newsletter that we send out every week to all our constituents. You can log on, you can sign up, and the log on is literally sign up. No, sign up, Senator Jackson. Sign up, Senator Jackson. You'll get the information about office drugs. You also get information about employment opportunities, training opportunities, educational opportunities, all of this sort. And if anyone knows what that is, one of the major things especially is service 5, 6, 12, which we represent those three areas in the state of New York is being tenants association. And everyone in here, and that's not here. Issues with the and nothing actually changes or reality changes until we start neighbors. Neighbors don't like each other. Nothing will change until you can have that. So once we start organizing as attendants, not only do you get to know your start making friends, and you're holiday season. The other thing is that it also makes it much easier to get better conditions in your building, because you're organized, you have a tenants association. And these things are really, not gonna say that they're very simple, but they are rather simple to do in the sense that you can apply, you just have to speak with the people in the building, communicate with each other. It can actually help connect with housing organizations, housing lawyers, all of this sorts. We've helped tenants move from one building to a whole new building. We've seen tenants, help tenants get rent reduction. We've helped tenants get settlements with their land. But these things are only accomplished when tenants work. So I'll be the broken record and keep repeating this every time we see me, but this is what's going on. And this is how we'll start improving some of these conditions that all experience. Thank you. Yeah, 212, the number to our office is 212-544-0173. I have cards. You can email me, call, My name is Edgar Tavares.
Thank you very much, Ed. All right, we'll move on. Anybody here from Assemblymember George Alvarez's office? We heard from Assemblymember Jeffrey Dinowitz. Anybody from Assemblymember John Zakara Jr.'s office? All right, anybody here from Assemblymember Tapia's office? We did. It's all good.
Sorry.
There you go.
Don't worry
Later
about it.
exercise.
Stretch it. For everyone, I'm Neil Mann, I'm the Senior Member Topics Legislative Director. That you on Thursday on our turkey distribution, and everyone's doing those, partnering with Councilmember Sanchez and local Phillies, to give out over 700 turkey constituents. We still have some tickets available, so if you guys want to stop by that's the 160 Jerome Avenue, or just to make it more separate between 181st and 182nd on your own.
can also give us a call at our office number at 718-933-6909. So we are having that distribution, that would be at PS 363 on November 26th at 1 p.m. Regarding, legislative queries right now, we're drafting the proposal budget. Right now, we're waiting for the housing and labor session to come, so if anybody has any fiscal priorities that they'd like to try to make, feel free. I'll give you guys myself at the end of the year. At the end. And so also, once back, we're getting some movement on CDPAP, and then we're changing to a single fiscal intermediary. Basically, if somebody's in a home care agency and they have a consumer directed assistance program, right now there's a big shift that everyone's scrambling about, like home care agencies might have seen it. Business, and so we're just trying to make sure that we're engaging with the home care agencies and the people are within that program, contact their office, and we can connect you with the new, fiscal intermediary fee. Which is obviously, so we're overall just making sure that everything is being, transitioned is second the workforce, second the consumers. And also, to let you guys know that we'll be meeting, next year, our new constituent service director, her name is Gabriella. See you guys. Touch on that, we're, having these legislative meetings, this is gonna be coming up soon. And so I want to make sure that if anybody has any, town hall initiatives or things that they wanna, have regarding, any community initiatives, for example, one of the big issue with source of income discrimination, meeting with, we're gonna see a neighborhoods together soon. But if anybody has anything like that, Paul, Gabriella and I will be spearheading, more community outreach, like in light of the recent election results, we wanna make sure that we're understanding search for now that's there. Secondly, yes. See, we're gonna definitely wanna, other than keep contact with you guys on that because well, Gabrielle, but I will also be spearheading that as well. The assembly member joined Bronx last week to speak about work she's doing and her legislative priorities, works within the assembly groups. And as I was saying, her. She mentioned we signed on to Senator Gustavo Rivera letter asking for more opioid settlement funds to be put into the groups, and we've been engaging with CB5. Of course, you guys would like to make sure that we're engaging on all ends of making sure that criminal reduction strategies are being presented and bringing to our districts. Of course, the caveat that we want to make sure that we're not disproportionately impacting poor communities and bringing unsafe and keeping our residents. And let's to repeat one more time, our office is located at 2175 Euro Map, phone number 718-933-6909. Sure, anything legislative you guys like to bring up, or anything in terms of, like I said, community engagement, calls, you can contact me and myself, 914-727-7638. Other than that, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we heard from our three council members, Oswald Felice, Councilperson Sanchez and Councilman Eric Dinowitz, but I see George sitting out there. Do you have anything you want to add for 30 seconds, George?
Hey, George.
30 seconds.
Everyone. How you doing? Good evening, my name is George Cook, I work for Council Police's office. Start with the address, I got a retest. It's 973 East Farm Road. On Hoffman Street, we open from 10 to 5. Monday to Friday, but Fridays we remote. Like the council member said, we actually having this turkey giveaway. So even if you're not part of the district too, you still can get a turkey now because it's not gonna be in front of our office, it's gonna be at this location, Rose Hill Park. It's gonna be on Webster, so if you know where it's Coal Factory is at, it's across the street on Webster. Okay, and you call office for any information at 718-842-8100. And if you have any housing issues, call 311, call our office. Or first call your landlord's office to see if they could do any arrangements, and then call office, because if your landlord's office is not doing anything, call our office, we'll call them. And we'll get it straightened out.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, they,
Thank you, George.
Hey.
Hey, George.
Okay. All right, our next meeting is scheduled for December 17th at Monroe College. Before I ask for a motion to close this meeting, are there any questions?
Andy.
Andy, go ahead.
I know everybody wants to go. So I'm kind of interested that there was no discussion at all about change in administration, where there's going to be big changes coming to the cities, and they're not ready. People are talking about holidays. We hear about meds, deportation. I bet everybody in this room has at least grandparents that were born in a different country than the US. We're talking about possible changes in food stamps, Section 8 rent vouchers. Maybe nobody is planning for these big changes. They're not my words. This is their words. They need business. And we need to get our act together and get ready. And I'm very disappointed that it wasn't brought up. And we need to focus.
Yeah, Andrew, Assembly Member Jeffrey Dinowitz was here earlier on and he touched on some of the changes that are coming. So he came pretty, he literally spoke at 6:45.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, do we have a motion?
Motion to close.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, thank you.